So there's this band. They're called Yoo Doo Right, and they're an experimental post-rock three-piece from Montreal, Quebec. Their music has a strange effect on the brain, almost putting you into a heavy trance. I think I've seen them live 7 times, but nothing rivals the time they played in an alley at FME. People were drawn from their houses or on the street, saying it was one of the most surreal shows at the festival. I wove through the crowd, taking photos and filming. I noticed the staircase and that the bolts holding it up were literally shaking, but I had to climb it. I had to get the shot. I remember the staircase swinging back and forth and thinking, man, I could fall. I obviously didn't, but I do remember repeating in my head, this could only happen here. This could only happen here. But where was here?
This crazy idea of creating a music festival in our hometown in November 2002 actually. I was with Sandy and Karen Bertium in the car, and we were tired of going to Montreal each time. We were craving for a band, so it was a bit time consuming, and at some point we said to ourselves, we should start something like just for us, you know, to and invite some bands we like. And so we did the first edition in September 2003 with the 22 bands and 60K as a budget. And we asked all our friends to help. So one of our friends was cooking, so he was cooking food at the camp. All the artists were sleeping at the camp, and they brought their sleeping bags, and so it was very like low key and do it yourself.
I started to book for FME, I think in 2016 or 2017. And it was pretty much like they were looking for stuff that was in the direction of what we were doing with Distortion. So that's really how it started, and then we would go all the crew, distribute mushrooms to the people in the venues, and like bringing cool bands and bringing, I guess, some sort of party vibe to FME. That's what we were doing.
They sent us in the basement of the little theater first, and we gave much to
I think
cooks and everyone, not just like industry people.
I think we're more bolding on really keeping like a programming that's like different from the other festival in Quebec, and trying to be like more like forward with the music that we choose.
It's one of the best kept secrets of Quebec. Yeah, and it's funny you say that because there's this festival called Best Kept Secrets, or there's a South by Southwest, and it's sort of like that. It's like it's a meeting of all these incredible new artists doing these new things that might not work unless you put it in that whole environment.
Merci.
But I gotta say, it's like wait, no, but
we got 5 minutes. We go.
It's like at the end of the summer, so like everyone is meeting each other. Like we saw, it's all the people that we saw during the summer, like playing shows, and then we meet together. Like at the end of the summer, it's like the last outdoor festival. It's the last chance.
Yeah. Before the snow comes.
Like there's some festivals that have a really special thing because they're so far away from everything else that when everybody comes and arrives, it makes a very special
everybody's
energy.
really excited to be here and party. And
I think that really makes a nice energy.
Usually say Rouyn-Noranda, so it really sounds like ruin, like
a ruin
city.
Yeah.
The word basically comes from France. There's a city in France called Rouen, Rouen. So basically, you could say it the same way.
Right. Okay. But how do you actually say it in
in French? We say Rouyn-Noranda.
Rouyn-Noranda. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. How did it become kind of like an arts sort of?
Well, the thing is that we have a very rich history, and I'll try to go maybe over that really quickly. The city started around the early 1920s and really became officially a city as two different cities. Rouen on one side of the lake, Cisco Lake in the middle of both cities, and Noranda on the other side of the lake. A prospector named Englehorn found this mining potential for gold. He was looking for gold, actually, on the side of Cisco Lake, where Noranda is nowadays, and he was able to drag enough attention to his find to have people invest in, going deeper and going deeper to find richer I don't know what you call them in English. We say she's mine in French, so basically.
Like veins, or like veins? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So I'll just say veins, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You already had this kind of gold rush, but actually it was around silver. So you had a city called Cobalt, where a lot of people would be. Also, have a lot of people prospecting and mining in those cities, and that brought a lot of attention on this side of the border.
We're 40,000 in this town, if you count also the neighboring areas. The coolest thing I would say though is that the whole town, I would say the whole region gets really together to make this festival be what it is.
Everybody is just so on it, and it's amazing to see a whole city just get ready for so much music to come through. It's very exciting.
Yeah, town of 40,000 people.
Wow.
They all like prepare for this like one event.
That's so
in September too.
It's so cool. Yeah, and it's all incredible.
What do you think so far?
It's great. It feels like people are really, they know what they're doing here, and there's a really good vibe, and the audience is very cool. And you know, we met the organizers till now, and they're really great people, and I think, you know, that's the best thing when you arrive to a festival and the people are great. So it gives you a great feeling, and then you can go and give a great tribute.
company town in the very beginning, so it was not a democratic town. The owner of the mine was also the mayor of the city of Noranda up until I'd say the late 1940s, right? So it really was all under their control, and they were really, really strict. Noranda was like basically a place where you'd go sleep and eat, and you go work at the mine, and that's it. So the mine, the company built all the houses for their workers and brought them all in by train. Most of them from Ontario. Most of them were from I'd say Eastern Europe. Everything in Noranda was in English, right? So it was basically an Ontarian city in Quebec. That is very particular. This whole connection with Ontario really brought a different culture in this city and a lot of interest in different popular cultures like cinema, like music, like arts in general. So it wasn't like any other Quebec city, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it was a little bit different. But then on the other side of the lake, while Noranda was developing, the thing is that Noranda mine was so strict that they wouldn't allow bars, they wouldn't allow people to get entertainment, they wouldn't really allow cinema. There was one cinema in Noranda, but like they were broadcasting like really, I don't know, boring movies, I guess.
Okay.
Because on the other side, on the Rouyn side, what happened is that it's all hotels, bars, and every hotel had its own bar back then, and they needed to have live bands to play there because radio wasn't around yet. And then when the cinema started being something big, well, then you'd have various cinema places which would open all over the city and show like either the cowboy movies or sleazy porn movies, stuff like that, like all up until the 70s. And the whole city of Rouyn was really all about entertainment and fun, and illegal alcohol and stuff like that. And Noranda was like a very calm city, very square city. So it was very interesting to see both of those cities grow together, and the economic potential of Noranda really brought people to come to Hawaii to start a business. So it was really there was an interdependence between those two cities, and since it was so far away from everything else, well, you needed to have a lot of entertainment.
this is something attractive at the end of the day. To run a festival in a small town, I think it's better because the people are, stuck together after the shows. You cannot just go at your own. So I think this is where the people will meet and exchange and go see other concerts and get inspired by other projects.
Everything's closed, and then there's so many people coming from out of town that are there too. So it kind of creates like a mini community for a few days where everybody's friends, everybody wants to do like stuff together, discover bands together, exchange. And I think you don't see that as much when a festival like this happens in the city.
Tarantula. 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 That whispers in your ear. Hold your head. Hold your head.
I love it. I mean, it's so cool. It's so cool in here. I mean, I'm from Alaska. It kind of has like a similar, like, remote, isolated feel.
Yeah, everybody wants to see some good music because
exactly.
Yeah.
You're so far up north.
Exactly. Yeah, and everybody's so nice, and it's such a I don't know. The city's so cute. It's always such a good time coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll.
Not good old rock and roll. Well, sort of.
Kinda.
Bands were like, okay, this is like a huge party for us. This is like going on a vacation camp because basically you're away from the city. All of the artists were located in a place where they would all sleep in the same dorm. So they would all have to hang out together, have fun by the fire and stuff like that. And it really brought like this spirit of a huge party away from Montreal for a couple of days.
I think it felt like better than any other festival we played. So
like the town shut down for us. You know?
For me.
I felt like it was something that none of us expected because, I mean, I had never heard of Rouyn-Noranda before, the place. And then when we got there, we're like, oh, okay, it's a festival kind of like in this small town up north. It's like the meeting point of Toronto and Montreal. And when we got there, it was this massive thing.
See a lot of the music too?
I did. I saw a Belgian band called Avalanche Kaito.
Yeah.
Just blew my mind. That was my favorite thing that I saw up there. Yeah, they blew my freaking mind. And then I met them, of course, and they're super nice. And FME was magic. Like everybody walking around just in the streets of that little town, and everybody's so friendly. And
especially if the concept is like emerging artists, like it's great that people aren't just going to see the ones they've heard of. So people, when you actually take time to go check out the artists that you haven't heard of, and you make nice discoveries.
Emerging, that's the name of the festival, Festival de Musique Emergente. So it's always bands that you'll never expect to show up.
And we were talking about it, and then we're like, oh, it's gonna be fun. People are gonna be like, you know, like partying and in a vibe, you know, already a little bit drunk, you know, so it's easier to play in front of a drunk audience.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be excited for sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, they are coming back from fucking great shows. You know, it's like, you play after Animal Collective?
Yeah.
Do you feel confident to play after Animal Collective?
That's a very good point.
So, Rouyn-Noranda is always fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun gig. Like, people there are fun to...
Yeah. They come out to the shows.
Yes, there's a big scene there. Like, there's a lot of young people there, you know, so it's not like you're too far and where like all the youngsters left for the city, you know. There's a big community of musicians and artists there.
Your show at midnight, do you know who you're like playing with, like the other bands at all?
Autre part. Autre part, yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit more heavier than us. I'd say more post-rock a little bit.
Seeing you guys live, I've seen a lot of bands this week, but the energy that you guys have it's infectious. I mean, Frank, you're just fucking like just hopping and jumping. Where do you guys find that energy?
It's a thing that happens or doesn't happen. Like you connect with somebody, or you know, it's a hard thing to build. Like it has to be natural.
Yeah.
And we found it probably second or third show. Yeah. You know, we've been in bed for 6 months. Yeah. And we almost right away it was like everybody just locked, especially when Zach came in here.
Really believe in like feeling the vibe of the show and then taking that energy and then kind of groove with it, you know? Yeah. So sometimes, I don't know, we'll play like a part and then like you notice that people are like going like this a little bit and you just turn around and you're like, well, let's do it another time. let's do that riff again.
We have a couple songs in the set where there's no structure.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we just jam. And
yeah.
It's like every night it's like this, like, you know, the train is almost off the rails. It's, you know, it's like we never quite know where it's fucking going.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the most exciting fucking things.
It is, yeah. It's like we don't even know where it's going.
No, we don't.
It could be a disaster, you know.
But somehow,
beautiful disaster.
We change everybody changes at the same time.
Disaster, but like the fears, like
fight or flight or whatever. You know,
yeah. It's like ride or die, you know, ride or die.
I started off playing saxophone and then slowly sort of moved towards like folk music, I guess. really get to reflect on like the shows that you've played? You've been doing it for so long. You know, you just came from Europe. You don't really even know where you are sometimes. It's just like you go and do the show and then you're gone. Yeah, it's true. This tour was particularly beastly in its travel. Like we were either in a van or in a plane for like 8 hours a day, and it was just, my spine has turned to dust. I'm a different human physically than when I left. I think that is the expectation, that there's probably going to be some weirdness happening.
I'm a all-around technician, I guess. I'm not very specific in one lane. Yeah. You know, if they need somebody to do the lights or to do the sound or pair arms, I'm the guy. You're like the secret ghost member of the band, because you're not actually the subject, you know? You just make the subject look nice. It makes or breaks the show.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that's a bit more, you know, on the left field, or a bit more experimental, or a bit more heavier, darker. So yeah, we definitely do curate a lot of that.
Yeah, and I feel like we can take chances and the public is following. Like if you don't create that culture of like trying to put like not safe band and like or like left field kind of music, when people are used to that and they're exposed to that, they'll actually dig it. I feel like a bunch of other festivals are being too safe and not trying to go in these directions.
I guess one of the reviews we got is Gloin is loud and Gloin doesn't like good lighting.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I think we did actually. I think after that we learned from that, because we read reviews and then just heard from other people to point the lights up rather than towards the crowd.
I think that did help. Also, it helped me.
It helps a bit.
Like usually I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
We've always had
fog machines, and like Simon and I have played in other bands where we use fog machines, because we both, you know, have played in like doom bands or like heavier psych bands. But then probably just playing with other musicians that have used strobe.
So we have two shows tonight. We got one at 8 o'clock at Le Petit Théâtre.
Le Petit Théâtre.
And then one at the Punk House at 1 a.m. in the morning.
That's a secret show.
That's a secret show.
That's secret.
I love how they say secret show, but they put like a sign that just says secret show, like outside.
Wow. I can't go.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
No irony in that.
the secret shows have to start?
Uh,
Was that the first year or?
No, it was back in 2009.
Okay.
Random Recipe, a band from Montreal. They did an amazing show. I don't remember where exactly, but at the end of the show, they were like so excited. So they decided to take their instrument and they went to Moras Poutine at midnight.
Outside or inside?
Inside the restaurant. So we just like called the guy at the restaurant. He said, "Oh yeah, they can come." And after that, the year after, but all the artists just started to do this as well. And at some point it was a bit crazy, so we decided to just like rent a kit, a sound kit for those specific concerts. And after that, we started to program them because it was a bit chaotic.
And like last year we did La Sécurité because most of them were there with their new project, so it was like easy to just like have a pop-up of like that project.
After we realized that we could get attention from that festival without being in the actual programmation, we thought, okay, well, let's put on our own shows while this is happening. So people are taking the liberty to put on their own shows. Sometimes for a couple of years, you have this guy called Dr. V.
Alors bonjour, je m'appelle Dr. V et aujourd'hui je vais vous parler de...
For Vincent, who would play shows in an alley, in a back street, in the middle of Noranda. It was free. People were just showing up because they knew there would be like this show happening there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That was like just something that was not part of the actual festival, but just like people going, feeling free to do whatever they wanted to do. So unplanned, the planned shows and end up being started being like a trademark for the FME, and that gave us some really, really magic moments.
Those experiences make really good memories.
Yeah.
You will remember it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like we did a Godspeed You Black Emperor in the church at midnight a few years ago.
We saw the guy from Swans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thor. Yeah, Thor.
In Medicine
Yeah, we
Singers.
saw
Yeah,
Thor.
that was really cool.
He did like a dub session in the...
And the thing in the parking lot. Yeah.
Right, his secret show with like his.
It was like a piece of wood.
It was a piece of wood.
that was my second ever solo show, and I'm terrified of this because I'm 57. My entire career, I've been either standing or sitting behind huge amounts of instruments, and some other fool is up there in the front of the stage, you know?
Right, and you're just drumming in the back.
And I've got the dignified job of laying down the foundation for a thing to happen.
Like Rouyn-Noranda is like really strong scene, like, you know, like I played a bunch of time in Rouyn-Noranda. It's always been good gigs, you know, like
people are passionate. They
love it, like, you know, they want to go see shows, you know, and then like it's sad because like
just FME.
No, it's not just FME, man. It's just the people, they love to go see shows.
Dans la solitude, un soir près d'un champ de feu. Pour ceux qui ont des vies monotones, qui voudraient partir loin, qui cherchent encore leur place, veulent se sentir bien. Ma soeur est partie dans l'Ouest canadien. On s'est proche de rien, puis je sais pas quand est-ce qu'elle revient. Je trouve que le monde est plate, les noms dégagent. J'ai envie de faire du pouce de Québec à Montréal. Pour ceux qui prennent la route, seul avec le backpack. La tête dans les étoiles, les bleus sur la...
Rouyn-Noranda people like
they show up. They party hard. They're passionate. They can fucking feel it.
It's not your style that you listen every day. People show up to the shows.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard one band that sounds like another band I've seen. Like every show I've seen has been like something completely different.
I like how there is an equal representation of Anglophone and Francophone music. That doesn't happen a lot, especially in Ontario, and we need more of that.
I guess, you know what, actually festivals like that, ones that like treat you nicely, that actually gives me more confidence. You know, like it's like, there you have like security of like your team and your label or whatever and your band, but like being treated badly or like just kind of like next, like kind of whatever at something that's overwhelming like that doesn't feel good. You're just like, I'm a piece of garbage, thanks for having me, like but there it makes you feel like, oh, like they want us to be here, like that makes me feel good, you know?
I feel like FME's biggest strength is that they haven't oversaturated their lineups with so many bands, so that when you know their infrastructure for bringing in bands is insane. I think that also kind of like tripped us out a lot as well, because it was like, here are your accommodations, like here are your wristbands, here's all your free food. Like we got to the green room and had like a huge spread that we requested, and you know, free alcohol. But I think their biggest strength is that they're not throwing tons and tons and tons of bands there. So they have the ability to accommodate tons of people, and then that in and of itself is making bands feel wanted to play. You know, it's not just like the rotary of like next. Next band, you know. And yeah, that's great for boosting
morale.
Morale in a band, because being in a band is, you know, fucking awful. It feels like sometimes, you know, it's really hard.
Yeah.
You know?
How like hard finding the support to just keep going and keep touring? Or
Being able to, you know, you make one record and if it flops, and you're still playing these festivals that like overbook and no one's going to your shows.
Even if it
you
does good, you know, you don't know, like, you put all your money into that record and it does decent, and then you're kind of still just left with, well, I mean, I ran out of money on that record and it did decent, but do I have enough money for the next record?
Our new record is based off of Italian supernatural stories and folklore, based off of our known as life in Italy. She recently passed, unfortunately, and she, you know, really left us with all of these absolutely incredible stories. Of course, some of them were very joyful and positive, but the ones that stuck most to us or close to home for my sister and I were the spookier stories. So we decided to make a conceptual record based off of all of her stories.
So were these stories she told you like in person?
Yeah.
Like as children?
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And then they stuck with you then too.
Definitely. How can you forget about a cannibal tyrant that lived in a tower and ate all the peasants? You don't forget that.
The new record's name is called Malocchio, which is evil eye in Italian.
Yeah.
And that was sort of a phrase or something that we kind of grew up with. We knew about the evil eye. We heard stories about her mother and her sister receiving the evil eye and awful things happening to them as a result of receiving it. And awful, I mean, you know, death and also supernatural, paranormal occurrences as well. It can be very spiritual, of course. It's very cathartic, and it's almost in remembrance and in memoriam performances because of her passing. supposed to be joyful even through the darkness.
Celebration.
Yeah. Absolutely. And of course, as you touched upon, like, these are horror stories. We are playing with that sort of horror genre, the scary sort of genre, and trying to find sort of some sort of light within that, within the darkness, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Story is its own unique story, and that's my Indigenous identity. It's not always what was taught in school, which quite frankly wasn't adequate. It's not a picture perfect token. It is historical. It has movement and life, and everyone's story kind of deserves to be told. And I think that it's pretty good that that these stories are able to be told more and more now. I think that that's like the positive thing, is that people are really being responsive to hearing what the true stories are, you know?
Yep.
So that's cool. And Daniel and I like have different stories too, right? So it's like cool that we're doing it together because we're different in the same.
Yeah.
You know, we're both Anishinaabe, but his life was different than mine.
I think it's your mission as an artist to like have a message, not just like play music for the sake of art, but to like push a message forward.
It's kind of our duty. Like that's what that's what we have to do if we want to be Indigenous artists. Then we have to be responsible to doing that work, and it doesn't mean that we can't do it in fun ways or different ways, which I think we are doing. You know, the Indigenous rock thing is just sort of coming to light again. So it's our responsibility to uphold that.
We struggle with you know, the Indigenous identity in Canada, and we find it a little bit challenging when we kind of come into only French-speaking areas and navigating through that. And I think our music, us playing in these spaces, is like really important because we are bringing. We're showing people our language.
Yeah, and our shared values too. There's all different types of communities out there, and there's all sorts of different Indigenous identities out there. So just trying to share those things and respond positive into that when we can too.
Yeah.
I like coming to Quebec and seeing culture incarnate, and then, you know, like Daniel's saying, as Indigenous people, we want our languages to be respected as well.
subtle yet like very powerful with these aggressive sounds like dubstep that's like tied to metal as well. It's like something about that felt that it was worth exploring in in the context of like a project that's dealing with the trauma of war. This is the biggest thing that I felt when being there, is that it's not just a sort of blanket like, oh, we got used to it. It's not like that. It's more of a determination, because when these bombings are happening, like you see, like people are pissed, like they're upset, but rather the thing that is empowering, like you said, is that they're not letting that anger turn into fear or apathy or depression. They're turning that anger into action, determination, willpower. Like it's a very like both individual but then also collective decision that we will win. We're gonna go and fight on the cultural front every single day and make sure that people know and hear and recognize Ukrainian language, Ukrainian music, and the humanity of what we as people are going through in Ukraine right now. Not just this is some explosions and craziness that's going on in a bigger geopolitical struggle.
We decided just to go to the war zone to do something. I don't know what we can do better. Maybe like some medical tactical training, but like close to the front line, like to be not like more than volunteers. And we plan to go there, like, to this place, and we was waiting in our military base just to go. We was waiting for a car. Yeah, and the commander was there, so we decided, okay, let's sing while we're waiting. We sing a folk song from this place where there was fighting, and there was crying. And commander said, "Okay, guys, you know what? You're not going anywhere. You have to come back. You're holding like way more important things in your voices than it's what we're fighting for here. So we will be here for you. You're going home and just keep doing."
Nowadays, 8 years later, this story seems ridiculous, because when the invasion happened on the scale that it happened on February 24th, everybody just put down their, like any musician either fled or picked up a weapon and went. Right? There wasn't that choice this time, because it was so widespread that it was like so all-encompassing for the entire country that they didn't have that option. And we know a lot of musicians that are currently like physically fighting as soldiers. At the same time, one of the reasons we do it, and this brings it back to the album, is that it's to remind people that the heart of all of the music that we make is this 1,000-year-old tradition that we're holding on to. That when you pare back the electronics, you pare back the new lyrics that we've added that express what's going on now, you take out the harmonization and the instruments, and you leave just the voices of the original song that inspired this. Our parents ask us like how stuff goes and how it's going, and how it compares to other performances. And the way Marichka phrases it to them is like, you know, every time I come off the stage with Balaklava Blues, I feel like I have done something meaningful in the world. I feel like I've done something meaningful, and that's not always the case when you're playing music.
Those who have laid their lives for our freedom and our democracy, we try to say that and remind ourselves as much as we can in happiness, in sadness, in every type of situation. It just helps us to remember, and now y'all can help us. So here we go. Slava Ukraini! Heroям slava! Slava Ukraini! Heroям slava! Slava Ukraini! Heroям slava! Thank y'all very much.
This is gonna sound bad, and I don't mean it to, but when we
typical Anglo, I'm gonna say it.
Okay, here we go. Yes, the drive was long, and we pulled up and seen everything. I was like, again, I don't want to sound bad, but my expectations weren't like super high, and then my experience has been the absolute opposite. It's been. Everything is so well run. Everybody is so kind, to the point of, the
bands, dude. All the bands were nice.
Yeah,
all the bands were nice.
Yeah, and it's been amazing. It is a wicked party. The shows everywhere that are so different. You see
up to 5 in the morning.
Yeah, you just experience everything.
Do you think about genre at all, or do you just kind of go with feeling?
No, I don't think about anything. I think it's just a feeling what I have, and I try to transform that feeling into sounds. And quite often it comes from a dream.
A dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I hear music in dreams. Sometimes it's something visual that catches my attention, and I want to recreate that.
The fruit. Where did you figure out to play fruit, basically, with the synthesizer?
Well, I think first idea was just because it's practical. It's when I travel, then it's hard to bring big equipment. So it's easy that my device that connects fruits and vegetables is very small, and fruits and vegetables I can ask each venue to provide.
Yeah.
So I don't have to carry them.
Cut the fruit or anything on your rider? They'll give you an orange, but it slices or something.
Yeah. It sometimes happens like that. I think that I like to eat a lot. So
When Elizabete Balčus played on the main stage, it was so beautiful to watch people's face just be in awe and enjoying the show. It was such a great performance.
The feeling is better on big stage.
Okay.
Then I feel more power.
More power, yeah.
Usually, I like to have a new hat on at every concert.
What was it like traveling with that hat in the airport?
Oh, that was interesting, yeah. So it's quite big. And I had to wear it like this to be able to
get into the air.
Yeah, but yeah. It's quite expensive to bring oversized luggage, and I had like 4 flights, so I decided to just wear it.
How do you find that energy that you have? Like you're just like running around, you literally climbed up the fucking raft.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the magic part. It's like any performer can kind of like estimate, but where it comes from is uncertain. Especially my voice is totally gone. The techs on the show, everyone's been amazing, and all these festivals like only exist on the endurance and like benevolence of the volunteers, which like it's amazing. So many people come together to like create this for one another, which is a beautiful thing.
It's a very community festival. We have 400 volunteers working for this edition. It would not have been possible to do a festival like this without the volunteer work. And we have some people working for us still the beginning. And even the founder, we never been on the payroll,
Yeah.
So it's a very community-based project. And when you talk to the volunteer, they own the festival.
You moved here from Morocco.
No, I moved from Morocco to Quebec, so I'm studying in university, and when I finish the study, I come here.
You studied in Montreal?
In Quebec.
Oh, Quebec, and then you moved here.
Yeah.
Why did you move here?
Just I come in here like for ephemeral with one of my friends. So and I love this city. Puis genre après 2 semaines, j'ai déménagé ici. J'aimais la nature, j'aimais genre l'ambiance ici, puis j'ai trop aimé le festival. Donc c'est comme je tombais un coup de foudre avec la région. Puis moi je suis une personne qui aime les petites villes qui se trouvent trop loin, genre. Même au Maroc, c'est toujours j'ai tombé en amour avec les petites villes, genre qui se trouvent en montagne, qui se trouvent dans le désert.
Is it very different from Morocco?
Oui.
Yeah.
Ouais. C'est vraiment différent. La culture, c'est 2 cultures différentes déjà. Puis, mais ça représente vraiment la culture québécoise parce qu'à Montréal, il y a différentes cultures, donc il y a beaucoup de variétés. Mais ici, genre, c'est plus typique. Donc, c'est plus. On va voir vraiment la culture québécoise. Puis ça reste vraiment différent. Il y a plusieurs choses, la musique, la bouffe, la nature, même les personnalités des gens. Au début, ça a été vraiment difficile pour s'adapter. Ouais, ça a été vraiment quelque chose pour s'adapter. Comme je t'ai dit, c'est une nouvelle culture, c'est une nouvelle mentalité. Puis et aussi, comment on appelle ça, le choc culturel aussi. Puis, mais avec le temps, c'est quand je me suis adapté. Donc, j'ai fait des amis musiciens aussi avec qui je joue. Comme chaque fois que je rencontre une personne, hey, salut, Seulement, on t'aime beaucoup. C'est vraiment beau d'entendre ça de chaque personne. C'est comme ça. Parfois, je dis, ah non, c'est vraiment difficile, je peux pas. Puis, mais quand je vois ces choses-là, ça m'encourage de rester. C'est comme chaque année, c'est comme ça, de plus en plus beau. Ma ville est effervescente, autant qu'elle est accueillante. Rouyn-Noranda brille au centre d'une région florissante. Ma ville est effervescente, autant qu'elle est accueillante. Rouyn-Noranda brille au centre d'une région florissante.
Have you played FME or no?
Not yet.
Not yet? No, you should.
Yes.
I like that. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, exactly. Not yet.
Only in Quebec could this happen.
Yeah.
Like, people in this whole entire province, for that matter,
we're better.
I will say, everything has its own,
Cheap shot, man.
And for that though, I will give him, yeah. Like Quebec has an amazing music scene. Everybody is passionate here.
We know.
And
We've been trying to tell you that for like 400 years, guys.
But,
it's about time, man. It's about time. Maybe took a show at FME.
Just look at the camera. You can do. I'll do it together. Just say just say the band name and at FME.
Okay.
Solipsisme en français. En anglais.
Do it. Yeah. Do it.
On est solipsis.
Les garçons.
On est solipsisme.
En français.
Do it again. Better. Do it better.
Do it again.
Guys,
do it
come
with
on.
feeling.
Come on, guys. Do it again.
Everybody 1, 2, 3, 4. On est solipsisme FME.
En français.
Oh, fuck.
To reverse it.
No, you're good.
We can't do it.
I'm David.
Oh, I'm Ariel. It's FME.
Okay. FME.
Just FME.
Yeah, my name is, and I'm at FME.
My name is Elizabete Balčus, and I am at FME.
Say, and we're at FME.
This is Adam Sturgeon from OMBIIGIZI. This is Dan Moncton from OMBIIGIZI, and we're at FME. We're at FME.
Can you just look at the camera, say your name, and say I'm at FME?
What, sorry?
Just say your name, and I'm at FME.
Oh, I'm at,
Yeah.
Bonsoir, je m'appelle Richard Quinn. I'm at FME.
Awesome. Good. All right.
I know how to do this. I'm Julie Doiron, I'll do it in English, and I'll do it in French. I'll do both.
Okay, yeah, do both.
I'm Julie Doiron, and I'm at FME, just FME. Perfect. Okay. I'm Julie Doiron, and I'm here at FME. Je m'appelle Julie Doiron et je suis au FME, Festival de Musique Emergente.
Hi. What are we doing?
You just say we?
Right. Okay, restart.
Okay. Roll.
Hi. We
are
Gloin. You guys know how to pronounce the town you're in?
No, it's two names. It's two different names.
Rouyn-Noranda. Yeah? Ooh, I got it? Did I get it?
I mean, that's the Anglo way to say it. But
Okay.
How would you say it?
Rouyn-Noranda.
Okay.
Rouyn-Noranda.
A little roll there.
You gotta do that little.
Rouyn-Noranda.
I would say Rouyn-Noranda. I'm from Edmonton.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I interviewed like a bunch of French artists. They're like Rouyn-Noranda.
Okay.
It's a little sexier.
It is sexy.
It's a little sexy.
It is sexier.
Cheers. Before you guys go, just look in the camera. Just say your name and that you're at FME.
Okay.
You can do it together. Do whatever you want.
First I'm gonna introduce. Well, where did Dr. fucking Butterpockets go? So our bass player is Dr. Butterpockets, and he's gone. He's MIA, man. You get some sangria in that, man, and he's sliding all over your town. Dr. Butterpockets, one of the best people to erupt from planet Earth itself. We're at FME. We're at FME.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
But it's an art drive, but really worth it, you know, the party.
Yeah. Like everybody knows the FME, you know, in Quebec and like, yeah, maybe around Canada too.
There's memes about it, you know, so that means it's cool.